Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rewind, the retro video game show coming to you live every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on the AWS for Games channels on YouTube and Twitch. My name is Chris Melisinos, and I'm the principal evangelist for video games here at AWS. And on today's episode, we are going to take a look back on the 25-year history of the mighty Sega Dreamcast. Now, this machine was originally released here in North America on September 9th, 1999. 9/9/99. Super easy to go and remember if you grew up in that era and the Dreamcast was available to you during that time. I remember it vividly and fondly. It was the very first machine that I actually ever went ahead and took off a day from work just to be able to go down to the mall to pick up that Dreamcast and a couple of the launch titles, including Sonic Adventure and I believe Ready to Rumble Boxing, Echo the Dolphin, just incredible. And this was a machine that really just broke so much ground, really was so innovative and years ahead of its time that, it was just super exciting to be part of the industry during that time and to get a new console. There's nothing like getting a new console. You know, they had these incredible innovations that the system pioneered, including an online service right out of the box, a modem that was included in there to make sure you could get online to play online games and to get online information. The visual memory units, which I have two of them right here. This is what it looks like when you bought it new. Of course, it's missing the little cap, like most of us, lost those. And then here's one that has been so yellowed over time, and I haven't retro-brighted it yet, that the Chroma King is actually cutting it out of the video feed. But we're going to go ahead and pop these into the original Dreamcast hardware that I have with me here in studio. And of course, on my custom Dreamcast, which has this beautiful purple case. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it to show it off there. So here is my Dreamcast again with this beautiful custom purple case that I went ahead and used to go ahead and replace a cracked and kind of yellowed one that I was using before. Of course, this is only one of several Dreamcasts that I have in my collection, but I figured the best way to go ahead and explore some of my favorite games on the Dreamcast was to go ahead and, of course, use original hardware to do so. Now, the Dreamcast would have a short life in retail. Unfortunately, the system only lasted in market for about 2 years before Sega decided to pull the plug on the project. But it still remains one of the most beloved game systems ever released and still has an active and vibrant game development community today. So with that, we're just going to jump straight on over. We're going to play through some of my favorite video games on the incredible Sega Dreamcast. And if you have any memories about where you were at the time the Dreamcast was released or comments on the games that you want to go ahead and see, I'll see if they have them in my library here in the studio, and we'll go ahead and fire some of them up and check them out. But without any further delay, let's head on over and check out the mighty, mighty Sega Dreamcast. All right, and here we are getting ready to go ahead and play. I've got my CRT up here and ready, and I'm going to go and plug these in. Now, what I meant to do before I started the episode today was to actually bring new batteries for this to go ahead and load them up. Now, the one thing that these little VMUs did was they chewed through batteries like crazy when you were using them because they use those kind of button batteries. But the idea behind this was that this was a memory unit that also had a screen on it, which meant that you could play these little mini games that were related to the big console games you were playing by just unplugging it from your console controller and taking it on the go with you. What you could also do is meet up with a friend that also had another VMU, and you could connect them together and transfer information back and forth between the two. So if you had a save game or if you had additional items that you went ahead and collected in the game, you could go ahead and connect with a friend, transfer that information, they could go back to their homes, and they could go ahead and start playing on them as well. The Dreamcast also, these controllers were really revolutionary at the time because they included analog right out of the box, One of the weird things, though, was the controller cord was at the bottom. There was this little tab on the back that you could go ahead and plug it into. But it had dual slots here to go ahead and put in not just a memory card, but you could put in a microphone and several other types of adapters or feature devices that were available for the Dreamcast. But I'm going to populate them with my 2 visual memory units that I have here in the studio with me today. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull up, again, one of my favorite games to start off with, and that would be more than likely Daytona. So we're going to go ahead and fire that up here. Again, if you have any memories about your favorite games on the Dreamcast, let me go ahead and know in the comments any favorite memories that you have about playing the system either for the first time or today. Yeah, let me know. So the system is firing up right now. It takes a few moments to get going here. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and fire up a little bit of Daytona USA. Now, the thing about Daytona, right, and well, Sega, the Dreamcast, is that beautiful startup sound, but also the soundtrack on Daytona, oh my gosh, is absolutely amazing. And it's one of those soundtracks that I used to actually have burned to a CD and would have in my car and would play, the Daytona soundtrack, especially the Blue Skies song, which was just amazing. All right, and it's letting me know right here that I've got a little warning flashing on my VMU and telling me here it is in the first socket. And we're going to go ahead and load that data. And we're going to go fire it up. And we're going to go play through. Oh, yeah. Listen to that. Amazing, amazing music. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to turn the volume down that a little bit. It may be a little bit loud. Oh, listen to that. Now, this game, when it first came out for the home, it was actually on the Sega Saturn. The Sega Saturn, again, one of my favorite systems of all time, but it wasn't quite an arcade-level port. It did its best, but this version on the Dreamcast basically fixed all of those problems. And yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I had originally, back a few years ago, I had received a pole position cabinet from my wife, actually, for a birthday. And before I went ahead and actually restored it back to its pristine original condition, I had put a Dreamcast into it and then basically hooked in the controller board for a steering wheel into the actual physical hardware from the pole position cabinet, so you could go ahead and play Dreamcast and play, Daytona. Using original pole position hardware. It was a weird, crazy machine. But all right, it's a lot of options here. So let's go ahead and back up. So of course we can choose which car that we want. So we can select, of course, yeah. The Hornet, though, is like the OG one, right? That's the one that everybody uses and knows best. There's Lightning, of course. It gives you your different, grip, acceleration, max speeds. I always choose automatic. Too much to fumble around with a manual transmission. Tires. So what do we want here? Medium, hard. We probably want maybe medium. And then, of course, we could choose our colors. And we could do custom colors on these as well. There's the original color. I say original color. That's the way to go. And yeah, different courses. Let's go ahead and start off with 3-7 Speedway. This is the iconic one most everybody knows because this is the one that people would jump into. And of course, you've got different laps that you could do. What your entry car is, you can go ahead and determine how far up the stack you are. And you can also change the courses. So you have your normal, you could reverse the track, you can mirror the track. So left is right, right is left, and mirror reverse. So it gave you some more options than the standard track that you would normally have. But we're going straight into normal. And yeah, let's go ahead and start this race.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine.
Listen to that. Let's see if I can remember the controls here. 2, 1. And, of course, I was changing cameras before I... look at that. All right, there we go. There we go. Oh, sliding around this course. Now, again, like I said, the Sega Saturn was the first one to have the bring Daytona home. And one of the things that it did, and we were fascinated by it, is it could do things like leave the tire tracks or tire marks on the asphalt as you're playing. And of course, this one just amps it up. This looks just like the arcade, and I'm playing about as well as I would in the arcade too. Terrible. Oh, listen to that music. That is the Blue Skies soundtrack, and I'm gonna go ahead and that first crash, that's what did me in, and I don't have enough time to actually go and hit the pit, which I don't want to do. Yeah, look at that. Now, the one thing about the about Daytona is it had this really weird kind of control where it's very twitchy left to right, even though you're using analog stick. Okay, and I'm going to completely crap out here. Oh my gosh, just how terrible was that? That's terrible. 15th. I only moved 5 up in the ranks. Let's go ahead and try that again. Game over, game over, game over, game over. All right. I think, is it going to let me put a name in? Let's see. No, not at that level. So there are a bunch of these little hidden things with hidden kind of Easter eggs with putting your name into the system. We're going to go ahead and check that out too. All right, starting off a little better here. I want to hit the straightaway before I move that camera out. Let's see. No, I didn't want to go inside the car. I hate that. Yeah, so the Dreamcast, was really the first system that brought home, the 3D arcade experience, and it looked and felt just like it did in the arcades, right? So, the systems before it, the PlayStation had some of it with like Ridge Racer, but you can see this is much more visually vibrant than Ridge Racer was, with all the textures, the environmentals, the music. There's really no draw-in out there in the distance that is as noticeable. Part of that has to do with the track layout as well. But yeah, this one is pretty awesome. Now, one of the things that I understand the modern Dreamcast community allows for or has set up are online servers to reconstitute some of the information that you could get by using the web browser that came with some of these games. You'd be able to download different information or connect to communities or even play online with each other. And that's what I do love, again, about, these fan communities. Yeah, there we go. They go in and kind of rebuild these things and get back those features that we lost. All right, let's see if it's going to put a name in there now. It should. It should at 8. And let's see. All right. Let me see. Do I get a name in there? Let's see. Saving to the VMU. All right. And no, it didn't. It doesn't do the high score. So in one version of Daytona, maybe it's a different mode. You basically, if you put in things like V.F for Virtua Fighter, it would play the Virtua Fighter theme. So there were a bunch of those little hidden Easter eggs in the game that were available to you. And so with Daytona USA, like I was talking about with the browser, let me see if you had this versus battle or net battle that you could jump into or go into the homepage. Now, no ISP information could be found in your Dreamcast, so you have to use the browser disk to configure it and connect to your ISP. So this used a browser called the Planet Web browser. And my team at Sun Microsystems was actually working on the Java implementation for those browsers. So Java mini games and Java components that were really in use by everybody during this era would also render on the Dreamcast. In fact, we had a small Java kernel, a small Java VM running on these visual memory units for these tiny little Java applications or games. So it was pretty cool, to kind of been around that space and to get to work with Sega back in the day. But that was Daytona, USA. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to go reset my Dreamcast, and we're going to go pull up the next game. The next game I'm going to show you is Echo the Dolphin. We're just going to play a little bit of it because I want to show off the visuals of the of Echo. Again, at the time that we saw, this game, it was just unlike anything that we had seen before. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I actually saw somebody had made a mock-up of an Echo game online and posted a video of it online to say, hey, Sega, are you interested in doing a new Echo game? I would love to see a new Echo the Dolphin game. So let me go down here to my Echo the Dolphin, and we're going to go ahead and fire that back up. Oh, there's that delicious Dreamcast logo that's popping up in the audio sound. So good. So good. So, all right, so let's talk a bit about some of the features of this. And this is, of course, the Revive DC project. These are, this is an organization that's, or group, right, that actually kind of reconstitutes and saves these games. And so that way, I can take like all of my original copies of my discs and leave them at home and use an optical drive emulator to be able to go ahead and play with that, worrying about damaging my pristine collection of Dreamcast games. Listen to this. Oh, so good. So orchestral. So majestic. Oh, that's right. Echo the Dolphin. All right. Defender of the future. All right, we've got port A there. And we're going to start new, and we'll go ahead and put in, you hear that little echo in there? Oh, it sounds so good. Now, one of the games that I would have loved to have been able to shown and played a bit, oh, those are already used. Let's just go back and select that one. Is a game called Seaman, where it was actually kind of a little bit of a virtual pet type of game, and it's wacky and absurd, and it used a microphone, so you got to talk to this creature and it would respond to you. Pretty crazy. All right, here we go. Aquamarine Bay. Oh, listen to that. Greetings, Echo. You are young and eager, but if you will listen to a wise old dolphin like me, maybe I can teach you some new things. All right, let's see. What are they going to teach us? If you wish to talk, just point your bottlenose at me and use your sonar. Right, so there's Echo moving through the environment, and then you can go ahead and actually lock the camera to a particular position, and yeah, we'll go to move Echo forward. Now, one of the things you have to keep aware of is not only Echo's health and energy there, but the air bubbles. So if I move up here and dive out of the water, you replenish your air, right? Dolphins need to surface to be able to breathe. But we need to go find... We need to find that dolphin I'm supposed to talk to. Let's see where that... there is that one. So yes, what you can do is you can blast your Echo at them. And let's see. And what so you would expect this to kind of be like car type controls. You just hold down a button for gas and off you go. Ah, there we go. We hit him with the Echo. Not the case with this. You have to hit the A button multiple times to increase its speed, to increase Echo's speed, and then you have to pull the brakes on them. We're playing Fetch the Fish. Talk to the coach if you want to play. Okay, so basically what this is going to be is you have to go and eat a certain amount of fish, a certain type of fish. And what you do is you can swim into a school of them and then zip past them fast. Let's see if it makes the crunch sound. Let's see. Is it going to do it? Come on, get down there. Let me see. Here we go. I need to be moving, I think. There we go. Oh, will it help if I went ahead and hit the kind of the thrust button instead of a different button because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, here we go. Let's see where this fish is at. And it's one of these games, I know it's a kind of a popular type of game, to the cozy game or the kind of war game. This really was a warm and fuzzy type of game that, we got a chance. There we go. Echo grabbed himself a fish and off he's going. And so this is an underwater adventure where you, basically saving your family and saving friends underneath it. Let's see what's in here. Let's see what happens if I grab that. You have found a Vitalit. With each Vitalit collected, the amount of health you can possess will grow incrementally. Oh, okay. So you can imagine, again, this is first time we've seen games of this fidelity at home, right? This was right before the PlayStation 2 was released. And it was just gorgeous. And part of it was the sound, right? Really the soundscape that Echo the Dolphin created. So I don't think I can get through there because of the water that's coming down. So that's a barrier that eventually opens back up. But this was, the next version of Echo. Let's see. And if I talk to the whale, hello, Echo, feel those waves. The tide is really strong. We can't get into Atlantis today, but it's such a beautiful day out here anyway. The next greatest game about dolphins has to be Jupiter and Mars by the awesome Tigertron team, who have also just released, let's see, hello, Echo, I'd love to see you do some of those tricks. Show me how high you can jump. Okay, and so if we accelerate and then zoom out, we can grab a couple of loops there. Ooh, that was like a 2.5 there. And then let's see if he has anything to say to us. You talk to my baby. Oh, she doesn't talk about you rather. Sometimes I think she'd rather be a dolphin than a whale. Okay, well, you can't. Oh, hey, Motor City Pixelworks. What's up? Good to see you, my buddy Kev. Yes. So this is Echo the Dolphin. It's an adventure game. It takes a long time to play it. So we're going to move on from playing Echo, but I just wanted to show this was like the pinnacle of graphic fidelity at the time this was launched, right back in 1999, and was just really amazing. As I mentioned before, though, something's happening. Well, we're gonna watch that. But as I mentioned before, the PlayStation would come on out, and the PlayStation 2 rather would come out in the following year of its launch, and it would see the Dreamcast actually exiting the market in 2001. So only 2 years really in market, but they introduced an amazing amount of content, and there's still a massive and vibrant game development community today, still building new games for the Dreamcast. So really, really awesome. All right, let's go ahead and get out of Echo here, and let's go fire up the next game. All right, we're going to watch me do really poorly at another game that I absolutely love called Space Channel 5, and hopefully the music is all good there and doesn't get flagged right here on YouTube. What you were hearing beeping were the visual memory units. These VMUs, when you didn't have a battery in them, you know what? Yeah, maybe we'll do that first. We're going to... you choo choo choo. That's right. Choo 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 is exactly the sound that Ulo Loud made. I thought you were saying Choo Choo Rocket, which we're also going to take a look at. Another amazing game on the Dreamcast. But if you didn't have batteries in these VMUs, they would beep at you, and it was really freaking annoying. And what was super annoying about it was the fact that the batteries wouldn't last very long, right? So it was always a pain in the butt. All right, let's go ahead and pull up Space Channel 5. All right. So, Space Channel 5 is a rhythm-based game, adventure game starring Ooh La La. Creature says, brought it Babbage's in Del Amo Mall in Torrance on launch day. Ready to rumble. Afro Thunder was unreal at that time. Yes. Afro Thunder. That was my guy of choice. You got that exactly right, Creature. It was such a fun game. Such a fun game. We're going to go ahead and check that out as well. So here we are, Space Channel 5, getting into the groove with these aliens. This one is actually a pretty difficult game. Oh, let me turn that down a little bit. It's a pretty difficult game because There are no visual indicators on screen apart from the character movement to denote like when you're supposed to actually hit the button in time. Unlike, a game like Parappa the Rapper, right, or Unjammer Lammy, where you actually have like a bar across the top of the screen and you can see, visually when you're supposed to hit these notes. So you really had to keep time with the rhythm, and sometimes it can be a little bit off. Of course, all of those are caveats, right, to me sucking at the game. So let's go ahead and see if I can play the game. And of course, let me know who Ooh La La resembles, right? That character resembles a famous artist, a famous musician who really helped to bring forth like club and house music out of Queens in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, Lady Miss Keir. You got that right, buddy. Absolutely right. Lady Miss Keir, of course, better known as the lead singer for Delight. Groove is in the Heart, one of the greatest house club songs ever done. And the video is still amazing. She was awesome. The group was amazing too. All right. Somewhere outside of Earth. Do we want to watch the story here? Maybe we want to watch the story. Spaceport, 6:45 p.m. Yeah, Lady Miss Keir. Groove is in the Heart. Welcome to Spaceport. And remember, again, like I said, we just didn't see games of this graphical fidelity, this kind of audio content. And one of the things about Sega that's really interesting, right, is you talk to anybody that grew up on Sega machines, Sega hardware, and they will tell you that Sega games feel different than pretty much any other type of publisher. Like a Sega game feels like a Sega game. And the reason for that is because they did so many crazy experimental type of games over the course of their history. They just have very different sensibility about games, and they all just had a different look and feel to them. Everything from like train simulators to big rig simulators to crazy puzzle games to rhythm games like Space Channel 5, Sega, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog, right? They're just amazing, just amazing. All right, enough of the cutscene. Let's get to the dance, because that's what we want to see. We want to see Ooh La La. Our Swing and Report Show. Introducing Ooh La La, Best DC Memories, Code Veronica, Seaman, Carrier, Choo Choo, Blue Stinger, and Visual Memory Unit. Yes to all of those. All right, here we go. Let's see how much I suck at this. This one's actually a tough one. I think Space Channel 5, the second one, is a bit easier, actually.
Reports that aliens have invaded and are forcing people to dance.
What?
All lines are clear, Ooh La La. Let's see what you're made of.
Let's go. I've encountered aliens on the main floor, and they've taken hostages.
Copy
taken
the alien
hostages.
rules. Press the buttons with the rhythm. Get on it.
Let's dance. Up, 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 up. Down, 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 down. Right, left, right, left.
Use the A button beat
All
when
right.
they say cue.
Okay. Right, up, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, kick, kick, kick. Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, kick, kick, kick. Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, kick, kick, kick. Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Oh, yeah! All right.
I did it.
You were great.
Right, and so the more people you save, the more join the party. And what's really cool too is they react when you do poorly to these two, which is great. She starts to get fatigued, and
Okay.
here we go.
Let's shoot. Kick, kick, kick. Left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Left, kick, right, kick. Left, shoot, right, shoot. Right, kick,
All right, B button, here we go.
Kick, 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 right, kick, kick. Left, shoot, 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 right, shoot, shoot.
Oh, man.
Kick, up, kick, left, kick, kick. Right, shoot, up, shoot, left, shoot, shoot. Up, kick, kick, right, kick, left, kick. Up, shoot, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot. Up, kick, kick, right, kick, left, kick. Up, shoot, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot.
All right, I have to tell you, yesterday I could not get anywhere near this. So the fact I'm hitting 100% right now is blowing my mind. So yeah. All right, we'll play just a little bit more of this. We're going to move on to some other games too. It's so good. Has so much style. Like you can hear and see the era in which this game was done. It's so good.
Let's dance. Kick, kick, kick. Right, left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, kick, kick, kick. Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Down, kick, kick, kick. Down, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Okay, I missed one, so you heard that little like bump.
Right, left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Down, kick, kick, kick. Down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, shoot, 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 shoot. Left, shoot, shoot.
Did I get him?
That was smooth, baby.
That was smooth. That's right. Okay. Woo! Now, part of this game too, later on you can get Space Michael Jackson to join you, but I've never gotten that far, so very, very cool. Space Channel 5. This is also available on the PC through Steam. You can go ahead and basically experience these games too. Really, really good. All right, let's see.
Here we go. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Stay tuned.
Nice shooting.
Nice shooting. All right. That was Space Channel 5. Oh my goodness. Did we like that one? We did like that one. Yes, yes, yes. Right? Of course, of course. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to yet another one. And since my good buddy Kevin reminded me of Choo Choo Rocket, that is the next game we're going to pull up, which is it's a kind of a puzzle game using these mice and cats. And we'll go ahead and take a look at that real quick. So a story about that while the Dreamcast is rebooting, I have a very good friend, Scott Hawkins, who worked over at Sega during this era. And he also created one of the best puzzle games to come out on the platform. And it was called Sega Swirl. And it was one of the only games that my wife actually liked to play on the system as well. And he had a system set up where you could actually play through email by basically doing a move, and then it would basically email the move that you made to a friend that you'd be playing with. And they would get the message, they'd go back into play, that move would happen, and then it would get sent back out to you. And so you had this asynchronous gameplay that was happening during the time. Really, really awesome as well. All right, let's go ahead and fire up some Choo Choo Rocket. And if there are other games, I know Creature went ahead and popped a couple in there. Code Veronica, Blue Stinger, and Carrier. 3 horror games, right? Like I said before, not exactly my genre. I'm terrible with jump scares and all that kind of stuff. But great games, great games. Also, this game, Choo Choo Rocket, had one of the best commercials from Japan of any game I've ever seen. It's got a wonderfully beautiful, zany ditty as the theme music to it. So definitely go ahead and look that up here on YouTube. All right, let's go play some Choo Choo Rocket. Such a fun game to play. Okay, so we're just going to do the puzzle ones. All right, for normal, where to go. So you can go ahead and see the direction that the mice move by holding down this button. So you see they're making their way down to the bottom of the screen. So what you have to do is get the mice and take these shapes that are at the bottom, these like these arrows, for example. Let me see. Okay, so I can, is it click? There we go. So what you want to do is you want to place these directional arrows on the field, on the play field, and guide the mice safely to the rockets. Okay, so let's go ahead and have this one go, and you can see, yeah, pretty easy to start. And if you hold down the left or the right trigger, you'll speed it up, so you don't have to wait for them to move as slowly as they do through the board, play field. And there is the first stage cleared. All right, let's go ahead to the second stage and see. It's really cute. You've got these little choo-choo animations that are occurring there. There's the little cat that you have to avoid that's coming at you. All right, roundabout. This one is going to probably be, let's see. Let's hold down the trigger and see the path that they take. Okay. All right, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and let's see if I place, let me see, if I place a pad here, let me see, there we go. If I place the pad there, let's see what happens when I start it. Should feed all the mice into that one rocket. Boom, that's number 2. Yay, very good. All right. Let's go on to number 3. All right, so it looks a little bit more complicated. And so let's see what happens. Let's see where they go. All right, so they're going to stay stuck up there. So what we need to do is get over here and pop, let's see, pop, oh, I see. Yeah, pop this panel in. And so now I'm remembering now the controls. The controls for up, down, left, and right you use on the buttons here. So now, when we start it, now it's going to move them through the maze, and so you get the idea. And so they just get progressively, more difficult, and then cats are going to get started, are going to start to get added to the environment as well. And they move in a particular direction. So every time they hit a wall, they move to the right. And I believe that's the case. And the cats, I believe, also either move to the right or to the left. Well, it has to be one of the two. Well, let's go ahead and see. So if we start so we can see what they're doing. Okay. So right now the cats are cordoned off there, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So what we do need to do, though, is we need to put in, let's see, we need to put a down arrow here, and we need to put a left arrow there. And now we should be able to get that. There we go. We got that little mousy dude out of there. And so you get the idea. And there's just all these other, levels you can go ahead and play, and all these different modes you can go ahead and play. And it's really, again, a fun puzzle game. And again, I believe this is also available on other platforms. You know, that was the thing too, when Sega Dreamcast eventually went under, some of the games made them onto other platforms as well, so people could experience the lovely quirkiness of the Sega Dreamcast. So yeah, if you remember playing Choo Choo Rocket, let's see, we have cheap viewers on. Okay, yeah, hey, thanks. That's somebody on Twitch who decided to pop in first time chat there. All right, let's go ahead and see what is going to be the next game that we pull up here. There's so many good ones on the Dreamcast. Of course, we need to let's go ahead and take a look at the one that really just set it all off when we first got this system here. And see, now we're going to have to spend a little bit more time than I allocated to today because, or for the Dreamcast today, because there's so many great games that I would love to go ahead and play. Of course, we're going to take a look at Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio. Incredible game. We have all seen the spiritual successor to that game make its way out into the world in Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Again, just a really, really awesome game. We have Jet Grind Radio. We have, a bunch of them. So, but this game, this Sonic adventure game, just absolutely incredible. Just incredible. And we're just going to go ahead and let that play out here. I'm also going to go ahead and bump up some of the brightness here. Well, actually, not even the brightness. We're going to bump up this contrast on this. We're going to get a little bit more saturation in our feed here. Crank that brightness down just a little bit there. Got to make that color pop through this CRT. Yeah, when this game popped off, too, we were like, oh my gosh, look at this. Incredible opening. Ooh, so good. Listen to this theme song. Here we go. I mean, it's a Sonic game, but this is how hype you were getting for that Sonic game. I mean, this is a straight up MTV music video style presentation on a Sonic the Hedgehog game. Big the Cat over there, Dr. Robotnik, or Eggman. I mean, you can smell the hairspray in this, the Final Net hairspray in that freaking hair metal opening is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Oh, my goodness. But this is the first time outside of the N64 that we saw, a 3D environment like this. Really, really cool. All right, we're going to go ahead and start this over here at the beginning. And let's just go ahead and do the adventure. And let's take us through the first part of the game here. Let's get them. All right. Let's see. Station Square. And again, when I said, that Sega had a very particular feel, it did, right? These games they didn't look like any other publisher, just like Nintendo games have a particular feel to them, but Sega's even more so, I think. Sega just, again, has just a whole different attitude and a different approach to developing games pretty much than any other developer.
Yeah.
Listen to this, Sonic.
This is happening.
This is happening. Look at those cops skidding around. Now, I know that, it's lower polygon certainly than what we're used to today. But back then, to have all of that stuff happening, to see the lighting there, the transparencies, the rain coming down, we just hadn't experienced that before, right? And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing during this time. Now, to be fair, it can be very difficult to control this game. And in fact, when I had done the Art of Video Games exhibition at the Smithsonian, this is one of the only games where a publisher had requested that I replace the video that I was using of myself playing with their video of the same space, of the same level, because they were like, well, the person playing it not doing well with the camera. And I'm like, yeah, because it was just so floaty,
This could be
right? I'd beaten the game back in the day, but that was fine. Let's go ahead and put our best foot forward and display it all in the best light. So I was fine to replace it. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and beat Chaos and get the first Emerald. And this is where we're also going to meet Dr. Robotnik for the first time here. So you want to go and, of course, grab at least a ring or two to make sure you don't die if you get hit. And then you're going to jump up and target attack. Chaos there. Look how fast that camera is spinning around. And now let me just jump up again, hit him. Now, because the Dreamcast control didn't have two joysticks, as we are used to today, moving the camera around was also a bit more problematic than...
Hey, I'll play with you some other time.
All right, he'll play with us some other time. There we go. All right, now let's see what happens here. And then we'll get out to the beach and we'll do the run on the beach, and then we'll move on to another game. But, this is so good.
Come on, you
so
big
good.
trick.
All
Where
right,
you
so
going?
more Sega stories. Back in the day, the gentleman who was running Sega of America at the time the Dreamcast launch is a brilliant games industry veteran named Peter Moore. Peter Moore eventually went on from Sega over to Microsoft, where he was instrumental in the launch of the Xbox 360 and really helped bring a lot of that game industry credibility to it. And then he went on to work at Unity, and he also went on back to his roots in professional sports to manage a football club over in the UK. And the very first game industry event that I went to, officially working in the games industry, was this summit called the Games Executive Summit in Monterey, California in 2000. And I was so excited to be there. It's where I met, people I've known for all that time, like Christian Svensson, who is now over at Sony. And Peter was giving his first presentation as the newly minted president or head of Sega of America. And while he was on stage preparing for his talk, I decided to go back into the auditorium where the conference was taking place, go up on stage, interrupt his practice, and introduce myself to him, which was, you're young and naive and you didn't know you shouldn't do that, but I did it anyway. And then I had a copy of his presentation that many years later, because I pack rat a lot of that stuff, being involved in game history and preservation. And I was able to get a copy of that presentation to Peter almost 20 years later, which was just awesome. And I do remember at the time that the conference was going on, I had asked a question of Peter and the rest of the panel that had started right after his presentation was done about Microsoft possibly entering the video games business, because it was rumored that they were going to be launching something called the Xbox. And I said, look, you now have the Sega Dreamcast, which includes the Windows CE logo on the front of the box. And if they launch a brand new competing console, what will that do to you? And he said, well, if Microsoft launches what we believe they're about to launch, then they'll become the Antichrist and the gloves come off, right? Which I thought was hysterical. And I laughed along with the rest of the audience at his answer. And that picture of me laughing in the front row of that conference made it onto the front cover of the Game Developer Conference program for the following years. So my first conference of, interrupting an executive while he was getting ready to give his first big presentation, then asking a question and pulling some laughs and getting on the front page or the front cover of the biggest, conference in the history of the games industry. Just a joy. Just an absolute joy. It's why I love working the games industry so much. Getting to work. Oh, look at this scene. When we saw this too, all of a sudden the camera shifts behind you to that orca just basically crushing everything. Amazing. Look at how fast Sonic is moving through this whole thing. Awesome. Oh, of course, you had all these little hidden things, like if you go around to the back of the island here. Look at that. There's hidden rings back here behind the island there. I wonder if there's any more around the corner here. Let's see. Now, you have to be careful. Yeah, there are. You have to be careful not to get in the water because you go too far in. Poor Sonic will drown because Sonic hedgehogs can't swim. Oh. Okay, yeah. Have to make sure we don't do that. Here we go. Let's go ahead and hit that guy too. Did we collect them? No, we want to collect those little chows there because the chows, they get added to, I think, the chow garden, and they become little mini games that you can take with you and play. All right, let's go ahead and make our way to the top here. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to avoid going to get that other container down there at the bottom. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, a hop. Oh no! Oh, look at that! Save. All right, here we go. Now we're heading inside here, and now, okay, right here, I think it's the next. Oh yeah, you could run up on the wall if you can get enough momentum, and there's more rings up there than are down there at the bottom, and that will also lead to... Oh, no! I missed it. Those are shoes that will make you run faster, of course. And we're going to go ahead and head down here into the water. Oops, we want to get out from underneath there. And fortunately, while he can't swim, he apparently can breathe well underwater. All right, there we go. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Yeah, of course, there's always one time. You're going to lose all your rings. I'm going to do it again here, right? Let's target him. Let's go ahead and make our way down. But look at how fast this game is. So good. So many awesome memories when this thing first came out. Just really incredible. Really, really incredible. Now, and I was talking about the innovations that the Dreamcast brought, right? Online play, the VMUs. Oh, that is just terrible. Terrible, terrible. Among the innovations that the Dreamcast had was the GD-ROM. Now, the GD-ROM was the gigabyte ROM disk. So a typical CD-ROM could hold about 640 megabytes of data. The GD-ROM could hold just about a little over a gigabyte of data, and which meant that the games could be bigger and you could have, more audio and more assets, all those other things, for your game. But the problem was it wasn't the same capacity as the DVD, which was about to launch on the PlayStation 2, which held 4.7 gigabytes worth of data, including movies. And that was one of the things that basically helped kind of kill the Dreamcast in market at that time. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. And we want to try to get through here. And we are... Oh, let me hit him. No! Don't jump down there. And we're almost at the end of this level. So even though Sega... Look at that. My gosh, man. It still looks and plays so damn good today. So even though, the Dreamcast had all of this innovation that they came out with, again, a modem, the visual memory units, the GD-ROM, online straight out of the box, it just could not overcome the juggernaut that was about to be launched in the form of the PlayStation 2. That was Sonic Adventure. Again, a launch title, amazing game. We're going to go ahead and just play a couple of more before we get out of here for the weekend. And now, one of the things I did mention while I'm bringing up the next game was, so in the Sonic Adventure game, when you collect those little animals, they go into this garden. And you can go into the garden and you can see how they develop. And by interacting with them, they'll grow and they'll change and they do all these things. And then you could go in and transfer them to your visual memory unit. And so you could take the visual memory unit with you when you weren't playing, and you could play these mini games with them that would continue to help them evolve. And when they did that, and you would bring them back into the game, it would open up different areas or different items for you in the game. So really, again, ahead of their time, just from a feature perspective, from a usability perspective, just amazing. All right, let's go ahead and play a little bit of, what are we going to do here? Let's try a little bit of Jet Grind Radio. Oh my gosh, this game... so unbelievably good. This is one game that may get flagged for its audio because it does use, commercial audio. So we'll see. If it does, that's going to be the one game that's kind of pulled out. The audio is going to be pulled out for this this episode here. But let's see. Maybe we'll look out here. Of course, I'm going to give you a warning about graffiti. And graffiti is bad. Now, growing up in Queens, New York, during the era of hip-hop actually growing up and graffiti becoming a thing, right? Yeah, there is graffiti vandalism, but there is also graffiti as incredible art. And, of course, they're making you aware. Don't go out there, kids, with spray cans and do this. It's a video game. Oh, look at this. So much freaking style, right? Incredible. Just incredible. All right, let's go ahead and start a new game. So, here we go.
Somewhere in Asia, there's a city that cannot be found on any map called Tokyo, but everyone just calls it Tokyo. The two hottest things in the streets of Tokyo, are the punks wearing magnetically driven inline skates, powered by newly developed Netrium batteries, and Jet Set Radio, a pirate radio station manned by the DJ Professor K that plays nothing but non-stop hardcore music. Those street punks have been named Rudies by the people of Tokyo. They roam the streets and cover the city with their personal graffiti, claiming that it is their way of expressing themselves to the world.
And this is true?
Ever since the metropolitan government and the financial conglomerate, the Rococo Group, combined their efforts to co-found the 21st Century Project, the streets of Tokyo have never been the same again. Police crackdowns and the Rudies have
become more severe. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, what you have to do in this game is you have to tag up the city. You have to tag up the city with your crew's tags while basically painting over rival groups' tags and basically reclaim the city. But not only do the rival games come after you, but the cops do too, right? So, all right, let's go ahead. Here's Gum. Is going to show us what we need to do. So these are kind of the tutorial levels, right? When you first start the game, it's going to help you ease into the controls. And yeah, Kev, absolutely, this does have the best soundtrack. Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and follow along here. And I think all I need to do, right, in this one is just to skate by, right? So it's telling you, all right, this is how you kind of move through the world. And then do I have to jump up here? Yeah. There you go. And you went ahead and hit your first, test, right? To join the crew. All right, let's try this next run. What I love about this art style too, this is called cell shading. So cell shading was is art style where they paint a black line on the outside of the meshes. So that way you can take kind of a lower polygon model and make it look more like hand-drawn animation. Oh, come on, jump. There we go. And it basically makes it look like flat animation or a flat drawing versus a 3D object. So those are 3D objects that look more like a comic book style flat. Really particular style of game. And there are some games over the years like Cell Damage and things like that that use this style. I love it. I love this style. It gives just such a unique look to the characters. Yeah, just amazing. All right, so here we go. Now, Gum will go ahead and start to spray paint their tag there. And in the follow-on to Jet Set Radio, which is Jet Set Radio Future, they eliminated the complexity of the graffiti mechanic here. So the graffiti mechanic can get quite tedious. It can actually really cramp your hand, right? Because you have to start moving the stick while you're painting the graffiti in particular directions. So let me see. All right, so we'll go grab this, and then we'll tag there, and then we'll tag there, and then, oops, come on, jump up, jump. There we go. Okay, no, that wasn't very nice. But now we're going to jump up here and tag, and get off of that. Oh, a little kick off that board there. Yes, yeah, that's how you do that. And so it gets progressively more difficult. Let's see. And yeah, I have to start hopping on rooftops and stuff like that to be able to get to graffiti all over the city. And you start to meet new members of your crew like Tab with that beanie on his head. Mm-hmm. If you see an arrow, use the analog stick to follow to paint some fat lines. Right, and this is where I typically fall down, right? Because sometimes it's hard to judge where you're jumping to in a 3D space like that. All right, but let's see if we can at least get one of them done. All right, come on, Tab, let me go. All right, here we go, and let's see, which one? All right, that is the jump one there. Okay, let's see. Jump there. Jump there. And then down. And then circle up. Circle down, circle up, and there you go. And so now you have to do all those different movements while you're moving around the environment too. So it makes it a little bit difficult to, and it starts to hurt your hand after a while because these are not it's not the most comfortable analog stick of any controller. And here you go. Yeah, you can also skitch, right? Which is grabbing on the back of a car. Don't try this at home, kids. This is very dangerous to do, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'd tried it once or twice, growing up in New York, where you sketch on a car but don't try this at home. This is extremely dangerous, and that's why there's a caveat at the beginning of the game or some warnings at the beginning of the game that tell you do not do this. Right, so then you basically make your way back to the city. So you can see how this game unfolds. It's awesome. is just filled with so much style. It's dripping with style. And the soundtrack is amazing. This is a soundtrack that you can actually go ahead and listen to just on its own all the time. Really, really cool. Let me see if I can, let's see, what was the, let's see, come on, I gotta find a car. Oh, no. Can I grab that one? No. Nope, I can't grab it. Oh, and I jumped. All right, that is all. Oh, there we go. We're sketching up the street there. On the car, we're hanging out. Do I need to jump off there? Oh, I did, but I also hurt myself because I'm being stupid. Is that the one? Nope, I needed to go further up the street there. Yeah, there it was. There was the corner. So grab that one and now swing back down. Oh my goodness. And try to avoid the cars. Oh yeah, look at that, sketching down the hill too. That's pretty dangerous. For sure. This game is just put you in all sorts of danger. And I need to get over there. Oh, look at that! On top of the car. Oh my. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and fire up one more game before we go ahead and get out of here for the weekend. 25 years ago is when this system was released. It is so, still, again, it is so much fun to go back and play. The games they still hold up tremendously well. And of course, they inspire new games today. Like I said, that whole Jet Set Radio, Jet Grind Radio kind of aesthetic we now see in games, again, like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which just came out last year. Fantastic game. Definitely go pick it up on the PC from the Steam store if that is your want. Let me see. Let's go find one more game to show off what the Dreamcast could do. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, well, I could go slap on some Virtua Tennis. It's one of the only games where I've ever had a group of people playing tennis in the room start to swear at each other just because of how frustrating it can be to play. Actually, we're going to jump into the fighting game that everybody was using to compare the Dreamcast to the then upcoming PlayStation 2. And if you go back and you look at video game magazines in this era, when this game launched, what you will find is that the Dreamcast version of this game actually looked better and played better than its PlayStation 2 counterpart. It didn't have the same jagged edges that we saw on the PlayStation 2. It actually moved at a faster frame rate. This is the game that everyone kind of held up and said, PS2, okay. Oh, Afro Thunder. Okay, maybe we'll do that too. We'll go ahead and jump in. And let me just do one level of this, then we'll go fire up Ready to Rumble, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that, and then we'll get out of here for the weekend. Since Creature, you've been so patient, and we asked for that. Oh, but look at the opening here. Totally crazy. Music's awesome. Characters are great, and this thing looked just like the arcade. Really, really cool. Soul Calibur. And it's not going to take me long to get knocked out of here because I haven't played this game in years. So we'll just see what I can do here. Versus Rock. Let me see. All right, let me see if I can remember. Let's see. Okay, there's 1, 2. Where's my range? There's my kicks. Okay, there we go. And I think you can do ring outs. Yeah, of course you can do ring outs here. Yeah, and oh, perfect. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's right. Yay, indeed. So good, so good. The soul still burns. Look at that. There's no glitching happening in the background. There's no... Oh, look at that. Was a great hit. Oh, denied right there in the air. Oh, let's see. Are we going to ring you out? Let's see. Come on. Oh, is that what you want to do? All right, buddy. Yeah, KO'd. Of course. Yes, that's right. Woo! Got a little bit of that KO action. But I believe in the game, too, in other levels, there were multi-stages that you could drop them down and stuff like that. So good. Yes, that's right. Welcome to the stage of history. That's exactly right. This had some crazy-ass characters in it, too. Now let's just try one more. Come on. Let me see. And then, can I use... Yeah, I think you can also use the control pad. So if you didn't want to use the analog stick, you could use the control pad. But again, this really... the controller was super innovative, but it also hurt your hand to play, especially if you have larger hands like I do. Like, you know, you're gripping this thing so tight that... Oh, it ringed out too. Gripping it so tight it would wind up hurting your hands. Oh, but look, it does these cute little animations on the VMU screen right there as you're playing it too. It's so awesome. So awesome. All right, that was Soul Calibur. Again, it was an arcade perfect port, and it was actually better than the same game that came out on the PlayStation 2. And for people back then, when we're talking about really console wars, people, bought one console. A lot of people really didn't buy multiple consoles, so they leaned into and they defended those consoles at every turn. And this was, again, one of the games that could hold up and say, no, it isn't better on the PlayStation 2. Now, of course, history was written. The PlayStation 2, an incredible machine. Somebody watching here today, Mr. Mark DeLaura, worked over at Sony and knows just how awesome the PlayStation 2 was, as well as the PlayStation 3. It was just an incredible system. And actually, what was really interesting, if you go back and you look at the sales figures from that era, the one piece of software that had an almost 1-to-1 attach rate for the PlayStation 2, meaning that for every one PlayStation 2 that was sold, this piece of software was sold. It was not a game. It was the Matrix movie. Because at the time, right, the Matrix had come out in 1999. Everybody was, how is this possible? And the PlayStation 2 used a DVD format, right? So it had a DVD player built in. At that time, DVD players were incredibly expensive. So the PlayStation 2 got you a next-generation video game console, even though Fantavision, which is a fireworks game, was one of the first games to launch on it, right? Really didn't take advantage of it. Although SSX Tricky, amazing. When we go back and we look at PlayStation 2, that's definitely going to be one of the games that we dig into. The Matrix movie, it was something everybody bought because of the hype around the movie. It just basically changed the way we looked at science fiction movies, and the fact that the PlayStation 2 was the most inexpensive DVD player that you could buy in market, and it was one of the best in terms of quality. So Sony leaned into that format. They went ahead and built an incredible system with an incredible lineup of games to come after. And kind of, that was the rest of it for the Dreamcast. Even though the Dreamcast had some other things they were going to do, they had a zip drive add-on that they were creating as well to store games and allow you to save levels and do all these things. They just, unfortunately, could not weather that storm of the PlayStation 2. So, all right, we're going to play one round of Ready to Rumble Box. We're already 8 minutes past the hour here. So, I need to go ahead and finish up this live stream today. I could spend hours doing this. But yeah, let's go check out some Afro Thunder. And what I love too, Afro Thunder is my favorite character to play in this game. But I also remember in SSX Tricky, it was Eddie, who had a bright orange afro, which was just awesome too. There's Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to rumble. That may be the thing that gets actually flagged on YouTube, right? Here we go.
At 120 pounds, the Funkadelic Boogie Bro
Afro Thunder. Midway always did these types of games really, really well. The over-the-top, cartoony. Oof. Looking at some of these models today, too, can be a bit jarring, right? Those pecs are at least 4 polygons each, right?
I can't lose.
He can't lose. Apparently, he's going to probably be right. All right, let's see. Okay, well, there we go. We've got some... Let's see. I have to remember what the... Oh, come on. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Okay, hold on. Let's see what the controls are. Oh, it won't let me see that. Shoot. Okay. We'll just continue. And I can't remember what the controls are here. Okay, that's got to be block. That's down. This one is up. Come on, get out of the way, dude. Okay, let me see. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that may be a punch too low. Come on. Oh, no, there's the rumble. And so you got to get out of the way of that because, oh, no, that's going to be it. Come on, is he going to hit? Where's he going? Where's he going? Running around that ring. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I keep hitting those low blows there. That's because Afro Thunder is way smaller. Oh, there he goes. And he is down for the count. 25 years of incredible gaming. Yeah, you know, when the Dreamcast first launched, it was the most successful entertainment, 24 hours in entertainment history at the time. They sold more than $125 million worth of games and consoles in 24 hours. It's just absolutely incredible. We just hadn't seen anything like that. But yeah, look at this over the top. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. The little taunt button there too. It's just so good. And that's what's so great about, going back and re-exploring these older consoles and games is all the design cues that were kind of laid down there. And we see game developers still leaning into some of those same design, same ideas to this day. Really important to remember as we build the next generation of games that, good games are good games. I say that all the time. It doesn't matter the era in which they were created. Oh! All right, we got him down one. And so, yeah, it's important to go back and look at where we came from and the type of games that we're still building to this day that lean into that incredible lineage and heritage of consoles like the Dreamcast. Absolutely amazing machine. Still love playing mine today. Just really a wonderful machine. It's so much fun to sit here and actually go back and take a look through that history. In fact, I think, let me see, hold on. I think I even have, do I have it here? No, I thought I had the Dreamcast launch magazine over here in my stack of video game history magazines over the side. Didn't have it there, but we got a chance to experience some of the beauty, the amazingness of the Dreamcast right here today on Rewind. So I want to thank you all for spending time with me today, and remember, if you are a video game developer of any size, from AAA to indies, make sure you head on over to aws.amazon.com/GameTech to discover the products, solutions, and services that we offer to help you on your cloud game development journey. And if you're a beginner looking for a clear starting point to help you build a career or learn to produce games in the AWS cloud, we recommend you start with an AWS Learning Plan. This set of on-demand courses will increase your knowledge of game servers and game analytics and help grow your technical skills to solve real-world game development, compute, and analytics problems. And you can demonstrate your knowledge to the world by earning digital badges. Head on over to aws.training/GameTech to start your AWS for Games learning plan today. And of course, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Waterflame for allowing us to use his music here on Rewind. Make sure you head on over to his YouTube channel at Waterflame Music to check out his incredible work. And finally, if you care about preserving the history of video games as much as I do, make sure you head on over to the Video Game History Foundation's website at gamehistory.org. They're doing incredible work to preserve the history of our industry for future generations. And I want to thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next week on Rewind.